My name is Bettina Joy de Guzman. I'm a classicist, a mythologist, an educator, and a musician. I perform and sing ancient Greek and Latin lyrics with my replica ancient Greek lyre all over the world, making this beautiful literature and mythology accessible to the public. Join me in my travels as I interview various academics and authors regarding their passions and research and how and why they tell their stories. Welcome to Storytelling, Philosophy, and Reception. Welcome to Storytelling, Philosophy, and Reception. I'm Bettina Joy de Guzman. Today, we are here with Vasileia Vaxevani, storyteller, coordinator, and facilitator at Athens Comics Library. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's so great.
I love this space. Can you tell me about the work you do here?
Well, it's the Athens Comics Library. It's the only lending library in Athens, and we've established it in 2015. We are a group of people that love comics, Comicdom Press. We do a comics festival here in Greece, the oldest running. And we decided we needed a space people can meet, people that love comics. And also a place that kids can come and be educated in this art. And well, we found this amazing place. And we donated our own personal collections. So some of these things here are mine and the friends of mine. And we host workshops for kids. We have schools coming in, and we have workshops for adults to know and make comics themselves. And it's my office. Welcome to my office.
Thank you. So you work with children, and do they make their own comics? They do.
Yes, we teach them the basics. It's an art that speaks to them a lot. It's closest to their way of understanding the world. When they are bored, they just draw on the sides of their books. So we tell them it's okay. I like those doodles you do, and I want to see them turn into a story. And that's what we do here. We give a voice to their creativity. And it's an art form that's easy to make. You just need paper, a pen, and a story in your mind. And it's working very well. It can be also very fun and educative.
Who are the people that work together with you?
The main brains of this is Lida Tsene. She's the one that had the idea to create this space, and she's the one running all the press and the administrative needs of this. I do the educational programs, and we have Dimitris Sakaridis, which is the one that runs the library as the know-it-all of the comic world. Anything you need to ask, anything you need to know about comics, he will know. So he's invaluable to this as well.
Tell me about a particular group of children that you've been working with.
We have every Monday and Friday, we have kids here from refugee camps and people that live in homes, being here in Greece as refugees, and we have them here to give also to them a way to express themselves and overcome any trauma they may have. We use all forms of art, storytelling, and comics, and it's been a blast. It's been running for 2 months now. We have kids here that, well, they see this as their school. They cannot go to school, and this is their school. They feel comfortable with the space, and it's so amazing to see them open up, create, and tell stories in their own way.
How many hours?
Well, it's 4 hours each time. So we do a lot of book reading, we do creative things and free play, we do dramatic play, we move a lot, and we also do a little bit of meditation. It's, I think, what they need to relax and calm maybe sometimes the tempest they have in their minds.
Is there a particular age group?
Yes, we are working with early childhood, so it's 4 to 6 mostly. But we also have kids that are babies here, the brothers and sisters of the kids coming in, and we allow them to come here with their mothers and fathers, and they can sit here and play and be outside the house in a place that's friendly and colorful and very safe for them to be.
Tell me about the storytelling element, the part that you do.
Well, it's the story of my life. Sometimes I never thought I would identify myself as something. When I was young, I thought I would be that wild person that would change personalities, like, becoming from a caterpillar to a butterfly and then again to something else. But now, if you ask me, that's how I identify myself. I'm a storyteller. And I came across it it was just luck. I wanted to do a writing course, and storytelling came into my life, and I haven't abandoned it ever since. And I was lucky enough to have people with me. I have two good friends, Ifigenia Kakridoni and Antonia Veliou. We are a group. We call ourselves Tale Maidens, Paramythokores in Greek, and we work together. We perform together. We have traveled together a lot, and it's like a sisterhood that the stories brought to me. And okay, you know it better than me, 3 is a magic number. So even now that I work with kids, I tell a lot of stories, and even when I write stories to turn into books, even then I don't call myself a writer, I call myself a storyteller. So it's part of my life.
And the difference between storyteller and writer, how would you describe it?
Well, the storyteller has the rare opportunity to tell the story to their audience live instead of having them read it alone. Even when I never read the story. I always tell a story. I never have a book before me. The other thing that I think it's different from a storyteller to a writer, I can play with the text. I don't have a set text. I can change it according to the audience I have before me. Sometimes maybe somebody from the audience has a comment and I say, oh yeah, I like this, and I take it from there. Beautiful. And we go like this, and that's something that's very creative. Your text changes through time, and I am never sorry about the text. Say, oh, what did I write here? I was very young. Oh, I can change it. The next performance could be better.
And very interconnected.
Yes, very. You are live on stage, and you co-create with the audience. You see the reaction, and then you give back, and they give you back, and you create it together. You tell the stories, and it's up to them to create the images in their mind. You need them to tell the story. There's no other way to do it.
And this is a creative space, so what's going on upstairs, for instance?
Upstairs, for instance, we have a photography session, and we also have we have the 3rd floor, and there is a theater group doing some seminars and some workshops. It's a place that always people come and go, and we do workshops, and we do creative things, and socially sensitive organization come here to do their workshops and their talks.
I love the name, Impact Hub.
It is. It has an impact. That's the idea, to have an impact on society and to change what you don't like.
Why is it in English, not in Greek? I was surprised about that.
It's a global organization that it's everywhere in the world. We are the Athens hub, but there are hubs all over the world that are making an impact on the world.
Can you tell me about the stories you tell? You use mythology, ancient Greek mythology,
yes,
for instance?
Yes, we use a lot of ancient Greek mythology. There is something weird going on in Greece, because the ancient Greek mythology is considered to be school, and some people do not like to listen to it. Okay, we know it, we did it at school, and we don't like it, and they cannot grasp the idea that they can be, creative. That can be a creative thing. That's why we push to have the kids tell, and we tell them Greek mythology, and then we also do for adults. We do performances for adults where we retell in our own way Greek mythology.
Well, Greek mythology is actually still so very alive as a fanfic. For instance, you have Kiriki, Circe by Madeline Miller. That's highly popular.
It is.
And it's a retelling.
I love this book actually, and we did something like that with the group of the girls. We went to a storytelling festival. It's called Festival at the Edge, and we were asked to do Greek mythology. We were Greeks, and we were asked to do Greek mythology, and we decided to do a retelling of Helen of Troy story.
Okay.
We stepped on. That's what people do. They steal from the greats. We stepped on the what Euripides has done with Helen, and we retold her story from her birth to going back to Sparta and being an old woman. And we decided to do it on our own way. We are 3 girls, 3 women, different ages, different time of our time, and we would like to tell the story of this woman that has, for us, has been so demonized and has been punished for something that, to us, it was not her fault, and that has been a success.
I can imagine. I would love to hear that.
It was a great story to tell. It was powerful. We were 3 girls telling, a story about a woman that other people thought that she was dragged around by men, as if she was an object. And it was a retelling. That's what I like in Greek mythology. Sometimes, actually, if you boil it down, it's just a line. This happened. Helen left and went to Troy. What you're going to do with that line, wow, that's a whole new world. And it's beautiful to do it like this. People ask me sometimes, well, are you mad that people take Greek mythology and they do movies and they do, like American blockbuster movies? And I say, no, I don't mind. Everybody can retell the story. It's mythology. It's alive. It's supposed to be retold. Well, whether they do it in a good way or a bad way, well, that's up to someone else to decide. But I like that they do tell the stories. So I do it. So everybody is free to do it as well.
And who decides really which part is good, which part is bad?
Oh, exactly.
People ask me, they assume, since I'm a classicist, you must hate the movie Troy. I say, I love the movie Troy.
Of course I do.
I love it.
I'm not going to say why I love it particularly. There's a particular scene that comes to mind that I love. But yes, I love it as well.
The part that I love about it is actually the rhetoric. There are 3 dialogues that are perfect in the rhetoric as far as, ethos versus pathos versus logos. Perfectly done.
Yes, I agree.
And out of those 3 that I teach the kids, I say, what's interesting? Only one of those actually occurred in the Iliad, which is the Priam Achilles one. But the way they did it in the movie, it's minus the gods interfering. And I was going to ask you about that in your retelling of Helen. Did you include the gods?
No.
No gods.
No gods. It's a human story. It's actually as I told, we followed Helen to being old. Some people think that she became a goddess. For us, well, she was a goddess. Every woman is a goddess, but she was just a woman, and she got old.
A queen.
She was a queen.
But still a woman.
Still a woman, a beautiful woman. She was a mother, everything. She was everything that a woman can be, and a burden was held over her head since her birth. And that's the interesting thing. And we would like to think like this. That's what I like about the book you talked about, Circe. It's also about retelling the story and understanding a woman that we all saw as maybe a vixen, maybe a woman that we didn't realize, well, she was turning people into pigs. Why? Well, we all know why. If you are a woman and reading the story of Circe, yes, I would do that too.
Yes.
There are some strange men coming into my house. If I can turn them into pigs, yes, I would. So this is a great way to tell stories. Sometimes I tell stories to kids. And a story I like to tell to kids is the Perseus. And they know Percy Jackson sometimes, the movies and the books. And it's not like this in the book. Yes, I know, but listen to the story. Oh. And I tell them a story, and they can see how you can take something and create something else. And that idea, I can see in their minds. it's working, and they say, okay, which story I like and what can I do with this story, and which is amazing to see that happening in in the eyes of the kids. Just take the story and make it your own.
Yes, the different media that has been made of this story. There's Clash of the Titans, 1981, with Bubo. I like the owl. I think we all love the owl. And then there's Percy Jackson, and so many of my kids, since I teach high school, so many of them know the mythologies through other things like Percy Jackson. They come in that way, and then they already have so much knowledge, and sometimes they are apologetic and say, oh, I didn't realize that I learned it this way. I said, no, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Keep that story. It's okay. I tell you the other story.
The other story,
an ancient
exactly.
story. And I explained that Homer was really fanfic, because the series of wars he was talking about was made into one Trojan War epic that was fiction and was an oral storytelling told 400, 500 years over and over, before it was written down.
Exactly, that's it.
So it's a retelling.
Well,
too.
Homer did it. We can do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do it however you want, and it's interesting when you tell them to do it like this. We have had here, we have them reimagine the story of the Odyssey. We play with the Odyssey a lot, and we tell them, well, okay, you're now the creator, and well, he sets off in his ship with his friends. Where is he going? You say, what do you mean? What's the next? No, don't look into the book. Just imagine an island of your own and what's happening on that island. And crazy things happen on that island. And I love it because they are like 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds. And now they can play with Odysseus himself. And I say, okay.
I like that idea.
It's perfect.
In the Odyssey, because first of all, I mean, with English now, the Odyssey, right, from Odysseus, it's because a journey.
It's a journey.
It has meant that now. Do you emphasize the homesickness? Do you emphasize the home at all? Is there a structure you give them, an idea, a theme?
Yes, we do it in 2 parts. For me, it's when you're a storyteller, traditional storyteller, I mean, you know that the stories that are about a kid going back home to his parents is a story about kids. Yes. The stories when a kid or a girl or a boy gets married, it's a story for an adult. So actually, we're talking about an adult going back home. So it speaks to the kids. It speaks to the kids in many levels. They always want to go home. They like to venture forth, but they always want to go back home to their safety. And also it talks to them about their parents, that they will always come back, because there is a Telemachus back home, and he's waiting for his father to come back. And well, it doesn't seem like 20 years. And a dog. And a dog waits there. And sometimes we don't. They have told me this. I have never realized it. I said, okay, my father goes away. Well, your father goes away for 8 hours. Yes, but it feels like 20 years. Oh. And I'm like, oh God, I've never thought about how kids miss their father, and how this story is about the struggles of a father to come back home to you, and how it makes him, a hero, and the mother that's there to support. And we tell these stories like this. And we also use another comic that is exactly like that. It's called Bone. It's from Jeff Smith, and it's an Odyssey. He has based that on Odyssey. It's about 3 cousins, and they are lost somewhere, and they have a lot of adventures, and all they want to do is go back home. And that going back home, whatever home is for you, it's what makes Odyssey appealing. Maybe it's you don't have to travel a lot. It's an inner journey to find your own self. And that inner journey, well, the kids, we tell them, okay, set off. You can start. You're still young. Go on. Don't worry. Home will be there. It may sound horrifying, but home will be there. Don't worry. And they feel nice, because the world seems like a vast place to them. And we also work with Odyssey with the kids, refugee kids. And it was Bet, because it has sea in it, and they have struggled in sea. We have kids that they have seen people drown.
They have come across monsters.
Yes, they've seen the monsters. What could I tell them? So I don't tell them. I let the story tell them. You see, I understand how you feel. There are monsters out there. You will struggle with Poseidon and you will struggle with the wrath of the gods. But don't worry, be true to yourself and you will finally get home and you will find yourself. And people will wait for you there. So it's touching to see how universal and how... I know how you feel. I've been through it with the kids, so... And it's okay to see that going on, and that's the value of stories, and that's why I love being a storyteller. I wrote yesterday to a friend. Usually I don't post a lot on Facebook, but I said I have the best job in the world because I see things like that happening.
Working with children, I know you work with all ages as well, and I work with the high school kids. They love the mythology. They take it, they own it, they apply it, and they explain to me how they relate, and I let them talk about it. It's very important that they relate to it and explain their own story and add to it.
Exactly.
To synthesize with it. Because if they don't, if it has no meaning, it's nothing.
No, it's an academic, this idea. It doesn't
school,
go...
as you said, it's not
it's
part
gone.
of life.
Yeah.
It's not part of life. It's not part of their mythos, their story. And it's got to be for it to live forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
There's no other way. That's why I like every retelling, every person telling this to the other person. That's how it started, and that's how it's going to go on. That's no other way. And I love how the kids we have here, they go to their parents, where the parents come to pick them up and say, oh, we did this, and this is and I see the parents listening to the story they've never heard before through the mouths of the kids that do a retelling. They don't tell the story the way I told it, but they do their own retelling.
That's right.
And you see the story, going forward. It's going forward. That's so amazing to see it.
Thank you so much for speaking about your experiences today. I really appreciate it, and we'll stay in touch because this is just great. This is wonderful.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much for joining us here today, and we'll see you next time.